Hello, this is Greg. I'm here with Alex Hutchings. We are in Soho, nice place. Opposite we've got the famous Ronnie Scott's jazz venue. So this is Alex Hutchings. Alex, thanks for sparing me your time. So I would like to ask you a few questions, and this is the reason why we're here. So please tell us who is Alex Hutchings and why bother to see him playing live?
Well, I think for me, hey, how's it going? I'm just a regular guitar player like everyone else, but I think it's important to see live gigs because there's a certain energy that you get in the room which you don't get on YouTube or and actually I'm going to be playing with a band for this event, and to me that's where I feel most comfortable. I don't particularly enjoy playing tobacco tracks. For me it's about the synergy between the band and as I say, and the vibe in the room. I really love that kind of experience, so it's about hopefully an experience coming towards it like
Alright, so what brings you here today to London? It's end of May, the weather is not bad. What's going on?
Well, other than having a favourite coffee at my favourite place, Bar Italia here, Fifth Street, I've been working with a musician in Dean Street Studios. We've been writing some material together. We've had a really nice day and we're hoping to release some stuff in the future, and that's why I'm here today. We've just had a couple of beers at the end of the session, so I'm feeling relaxed. Yeah, that's what I've been up to today.
Cool, next question. I'm not very bad handwriting, so I'm kind of. Alex, tell us a little bit more about this upcoming clinic. So we are doing this together, right? I invited you to this clinic, to do it in London, right? And obviously, I've seen you playing live. A lot of people know who you are. What can we expect from this clinic?
Well, as I said, I'm going to be doing it in kind of two halves. So like a concert at the beginning, I've just confirmed a sax player, so there's going to be a quartet, and I'm really looking forward to that. So that's the first half. It's going to be like a concert, and I'm going to be playing some unreleased material. I'm going to be trying it out on the people that come. So music that hasn't been heard before. I might play some stuff that has been heard before. And then the second half we'll take a little break, and then for the guitarists that want to sit and have a kind of almost a one-on-one experience, we can just sit and talk about guitar, and if they've got any questions I'll happily demonstrate and talk about my feelings about how I practice or play, or any ideas or concepts. So I think it's going to be a great night. I'm looking forward to it.
Excellent. Alright, so let me just tell you guys, because this is a good time to tell when is it? So it's the 23rd of June, so it's pretty soon, right? Tickets are still available, and we've got two types of tickets. You can get tickets only for the gig, and it's 15 quid. And you can buy a ticket for the show, for the full show, including the gig and including the masterclass, and it's £35. Just the kind of information that I would like to kind of give you here. Now, let's get back to kind of guitar talking and all this kind of stuff. Can you maybe? I would like to ask you about top three guitar tips that you would like to give to guitar players at any level, especially I think beginner players and intermediate players, or maybe even like more advanced players. So, is there any kind of wisdom you'd like to share about playing guitar?
Well, for me, I think that anybody of any level can make music. I think it's important to remember that, you don't have to be very technically proficient to make music. For example, there are people that have never had a lesson in their life. They don't necessarily have a great technique, but they can still make music. For example, I've taught over the years, and I could say that I've had students that were 14 years old with 10 times the technique of B.B. King. But that doesn't necessarily mean that either one is more or less valid. They can, of course, B.B. King makes some beautiful music and has influenced a whole generation of players, including myself, and all greats. And, you know, but yet, a 14-year-old guy that has been learning for 1 year, that's not to devalue the fact that he or she could make some great music. Within the first few months, they might have a great year and do something quite wild. And so, for me, I'd like to say that regardless of ability, talent, you know, music is for everyone. You know, and that's something that I like to, you know, to impart to students, just to remember that it doesn't matter what your level is. It's about making music.
So that's okay. Two more more messages to you know, I mean, more from more wisdom. You are such an experienced player, right? And maybe tell me one thing, because you've been playing for many years, and you are very technical, but I can hear sometimes in your music that you choose sometimes to play, you know, less notes, more melodic.
Yeah. Well, I guess the thing about that is it's kind of a typical, maybe a jazz thing, which is to be able to sing what you hear in your mind and your head. And I look at playing the guitar as just playing music, as if I'm singing, or playing the saxophone. I learned the saxophone growing up, similarly at the same time as playing the guitar. And I was just discussing with the guys today in the studio about how that maybe has affected my guitar playing, because there's a dynamic approach to an instrument like saxophone, which is unlike the guitar. Every single breath, every nuance has a dynamic to it that I think has influenced my playing. I love dynamics. So that's, I've kind of forgotten the question now, but I think that's something that's influenced me, you know, and that again isn't about technique, that's about trying to express something, and it doesn't have to be a flashy thing, but a musical thing is an emotion, and sometimes playing very soft and sensitive is a great way of communicating sensitivity. If you want to play a song like a rock song that's out and out kind of aggressive, you might not need dynamics, and you find it in licks or rhythmical interest. So you know, there's different ways of creating music, and that's how I look at it.
Okay, how do you approach composing? Like,
it's interesting because it changes every time, and in fact recently I've realised something quite significant about myself, which is that, as most people are aware, like I'm working on an album, but in actual fact I've been working on several things of different styles, like some more rocky, some a little more jazzy and a bit more experimental or whatever. And through all of that I've realised that something that I'm coming to now, rather than a very guitaristic album where it's specific parts, I quite like the musicality of a melody, a simple melody that can be embellished, like the great sax players of today or yesteryear, like Charlie Parker, Coltrane. They would take the most simple of melodies at the time, which would have been a pop song, and embellish it with some wonderful, enhancements. And so I'm starting to think that that's helping my writing process by thinking in that way, rather than playing something parrot fashion every time. There's something about that for me that doesn't appeal. I want to go out and play every night and be excited to do something different. And so that's kind of where I'm at the moment. But that's not for everyone. Some people want to hear, like a classical musician playing the piece exactly in the same, the exact same piece, but interpreting it slightly differently. and that's just another way. But that's where I'm at the moment. Right.
Okay, cool. Well, listen, as you know, I teach guitar, right? And I'm interested to know if you have ever taken any guitar lessons.
Well, not any electric guitar lessons.
Right.
But when I was younger, I had a few years of classical lessons from 12 to 13 or maybe 14, I can't remember. And for me, I actually started on the electric first. I was bought my first, well, I say 6-string, it only had 2 strings on it for about a week. And I just learned on that for a while. My brother showed me some licks, and he plays also. And but when I started playing classical guitar, it taught me good technique, mainly posture and the left hand. And that's something I like to instill, and I'll probably mention on the masterclass, is how important to me posture is. And I got that from classical discipline, and I also learned discipline.
Exactly, discipline is the key, right?
Absolutely. And so I just put it into my own music, and what I wanted to achieve, on the electric guitar, I just took those values and implemented them in the electric world.
Alright, cool. Listen, this is the last question. You seem to be very confident on stage. We've seen Alex jamming with Brakau. We love the way you played, we love the way you moved, and judging from Greg's facial expressions, he was really kind of happy, to see you kind of being so much into it. So you are confident on stage, obviously, but how did you get there, right? How did you reach that level of confidence? And what do you feel when you do that? Right? What do you feel when you play music live?
Yeah, it's interesting. I'll give you a quick experience that I had maybe 10 or 12 years ago or something like that. I remember playing a gig in Bristol, which is where I'm from, in a place called the Old Duke, which is a great venue. They have music 7-8 times a week. And through my childhood, I always imagined, I'd love to play there. And so finally, when I started to play there, it was a big thing for me at that age, maybe 19 or 20. And there was one particular night, there was a big crowd, maybe 80, 90 people, right up to the stage, and I was quite nervous. And I was worried, what are they going to think? What are they going to think? And then anyway, I thought, well, I'm about to go on, I can't practice anymore, I can't do anything different. So what I'm going to do, I have to let go of what I think they're going to think of me.
Alright.
And what I did was forget that there is an evil audience there. And to a point, it sounds a bit weird, but to not even care what they feel.
Alright.
And what that means is I focused entirely on the music, the point of being there, which is to play. So when one of my solos came up, I closed my eyes, ignored everyone, and just put everything in. I went, and then bam, hit the last note. And opened my eyes, and everyone just went, and they sort of erupted. And I learned a big thing that day, which was, it doesn't matter where you are, who you're in front of, honour the music and what you're doing. That's all you can do, and you have to do your best. And it doesn't always go that way. They might not like it, but rather than sitting there worrying about what you're thinking, focus on the point of being there, which is to play music the best way you can, the best way you know how, and do the best you can do, and that's all you can do, and have fun doing it. And so I think experiences like that just said to me, that's what I'm here to do. I just want to play and honour music. I don't care what I look like, I don't care, I care how I sound, but I want to just do my best, and that's what I can ever do. And so it's not really a confidence as much as it is, I just want to play. So it's funny hearing you say it as a confidence, because it kind of came out of a shyness.
Yeah.
So I don't think of it as being confident. I just go up and say, I'm confident in the fact that I'm going to try my hardest to play my best. Whether it's a small pub or an arena, to try and be honest about what I'm playing. It doesn't always work, but you've got to try.
I think as long as you are honest with people, right, that's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
All right, so thanks for this interview, but tell me what's going on now. Like, what are your plans from now till the clinic finishes? You know?
Yeah. Well, I'm actually going up to Scotland in a few days to do another masterclass, and then I'm off to China for a week to do some masterclasses or like workshops over there, and then to Spain, and then eventually back to London to play for you guys. And as I said, I love everyone to be there, just have fun, and that's it. So yeah, and I'm always working on writing. I'm writing lots of material. Hopefully it'll be ready this side of me being 55 years old.
All right, excellent. Alex, thank you so much for being here today.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Cheers.